Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Before I Go podcast. I recently discovered and fell in love with a podcast called Metaphysical Milkshake. It's hosted by Rainn Wilson and Reza Aslan. It's a show where the hosts ask the big questions. The questions don't always get answered, but it does give you something to really think about. The podcast is just lovely, and I highly recommend it. Anyway, as I was scrolling through the episode list, I saw a title that simply said, "What if I'm wrong?" The title alone kind of shook me, and I was intrigued. What if I'm wrong? I have to honestly say that I have never asked myself that question, gave it serious thought, and tried to answer it. But why? Probably because historically I have always been the person who believed they knew every damn thing. Wrong? Me? Please. Thankfully, I came to the realization I was wrong about that. Have you asked yourself that question? What if I'm wrong? Wrong about what? I don't know, pick something. Wrong about the school you went to, wrong about the person you married, wrong about your religion, wrong about your job. Pick something. I think the reason we, or I, don't ask the question is because we don't want to know the answer, or we actually do know the answer and don't want to acknowledge it. Unfortunately, not acknowledging the answer does not make it go away. It should also be noted that simply asking the question won't change anything. So ask. The answer may lead you to some really thoughtful revelations. It may give you an opportunity to make a wrong decision right. It may give you some peace. It may reinforce the fact that you are actually right. My point is, the question should not frighten you. So ask it. We all have opinions. Some of us have very strong opinions and others not so much. Some of us feel the need to share our opinions at every opportunity and others not so much. Some of us end relationships over a difference of opinion and others are capable of agreeing to disagree. Some of us can deal with being wrong while others would rather die than admit it. Where do you fall? I have strong opinions about some things. However, I have no desire to share them publicly, especially if no one has asked. I have absolutely ended relationships over a difference of opinion. However, as I get older, I am developing the ability to agree to disagree. I can disagree with you and still be your friend. That's what you call growth. I celebrated my 57th birthday recently, and in a moment of quiet reflection, I asked myself, what if everything that I have held to be true over the last 57 years has been wrong? Well, the truth is there are several things that I realized I was wrong about. Some of those things broke me wide open. Others, not so much. For the longest time, I could never admit to being wrong. I'd like to think that I've gotten better, but perhaps I'm just less likely to share my opinions, so if I don't share, then no one can challenge me, and therefore I'm not wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just called avoidance. There have been times when I've been wrong. Loud and wrong. Trust me, the only thing worse than being wrong is being loud and wrong. Why do we have such a problem being wrong, though? I believe, like with most things, it starts with fear. Fear of looking foolish, fear of being judged, fear of not being trusted any longer. It's the kid in class who won't raise their hand to answer a question because of the fear of being wrong. That kid will grow up to be the person who sits at the conference room table silently for the same reason. I know that person. I've been that person. So it's not actually being wrong that hurts, it's being wrong in front of other people that's the problem. It's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. Same thing. Being wrong is not the end of the world. It is actually an opportunity for learning and growth. If you're traveling in the wrong direction, wouldn't it be better to have that pointed out so you can go in the right direction? How foolish would it be to continue down that path just so you don't have to say that you were wrong? Look, in late 2016, when I started my job search to go back to contract administration, I had to admit to myself that I was wrong. I was wrong to believe that I would be comfortable being an entrepreneur. This was an example of when I was loud and wrong. But I could not continue down that path and remain sane. I was wrong, but I corrected the situation and learned a very valuable lesson. Being wrong does not have to be fatal or tragic. Asking the question, what if I'm wrong, may force you to look at a situation on a deeper level and cause you to think again. And what's wrong with that? Everyone is in such a hurry looking for answers that sometimes they settle for the quickest, most convenient solution. Well, sometimes the most convenient solution will not always be the best solution. What if you're wrong? Well, you just may be. And that's okay. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening. But before I go, let me share this with you from George Soros. He says, once we realize that imperfect understanding is the human condition, there is no shame in being wrong, only in failing to correct our mistakes. I'll see you next time.